Hello, everyone. Welcome to My Turn to Talk. I am Solid Blue Sister, and today is Wednesday, July 21st. Okay, so today, what are we going to talk about today? Well, you know, every time I watch the news, it totally changes my subject for um, for my show. And hold on one second. I want to change something here on my background. Blur that out. That's a little better. Okay, so you know, every time I watch the news, I'm changing the topic of my show because something always, comes up or there's a subject that's being talked about, and uh, I want to talk about Black conservatives, and I want to talk about Black conservatives, but I also want to talk about COVID. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I'm going to be talking about. Okay, so we have Black people in this country who are Republican. Okay, that's fine. Um, back after slavery ended, um, you know, Black people were Republicans. You know, it was Republicans. Lincoln was Republican. Yes, he freed the slaves, and it was the Democrats who were forming the Klan and trying to lynch us and wanting to keep us on the on the plantation. But then things changed, and what I'm not understanding, um, I'm not understanding how Black people can be a Republican today. I'm not talking about when, 20, 30 years ago, when Bush was president, or, Reagan, but in today's climate. And I say that because Republicans have always been, it's okay if you're a Republican, but I mean, just like the comment that Lindsey Graham said, you know, um, uh, last fall, we welcome Black people in South Carolina as long as they're conservative. What does that mean? But still, within the Republican Party, they don't even want Black Republicans to talk about race. Unless, of course, you're Senator Tim Scott and you're replying, they choose you to reply to Biden's, 100-day speech and stand up as a Black man and say that racism does not exist in America. Republicans have, Black Republicans have said for a while, people like Candace Owens, Ben Carson, that they're tired of being used by the Democratic Party. And there's a woman, and I'm going to play the video, who was recently nominated in Virginia, I do believe, who is a Black Republican, said that, that she's tired of being used by the Democrats. Well, if you look at it, Black folks are being used by everybody. It's not just a Democratic thing. It's not just a Republican thing. It's not just a socialist or, Green Party thing. Black people are being used by every political party, period. But my problem with Black Republicans is that the GOP is so in your face racist. They support racist propaganda, ideas, you know, how do you align yourself with that? And what we were talking about yesterday, one of my guests, when she made the comment, which is true, is that Republicans will say, and I have Black people who are Republicans that I know who have said this to me, I'm not voting for the man, I'm voting for the party. I'm voting for what they stand for. Okay, what do Republicans stand for? Because in today's climate, what I'm seeing right now, what they stand for is a lot of racist rhetoric. And don't be fooled. Do not be fooled, my Black brother and sister conservatives. Don't be fooled. You may be a conservative, but when you go to vote and you're standing in line, the people who are intimidating other Black voters, they're not going to know you're conservative unless you have on a maggot hat. They're going to come after you just like they're going to come after them. Don't be fooled. That police officer that's profiling Black motorists, he's not going to know that you voted for the former guy or you're going to vote for another Republican. They're not going to know. They're going to see somebody Black driving that they're profiling. When you walk into that store and a security guard or someone in the store says, oh my God, a Black person walked in, and they start following you around the store, they're not going to know that you are a conservative. They're going to see that you're Black. Because first and foremost, before you're a Democrat or you're a Republican or you're a socialist or you're a Green Party, whatever, you're Black. That's what they see first when they walk into the room. You are Black. What are you going to take? What are you going to steal? Who are you going to rape? Who are you going to, rob? Who are you going to beat up? What gang affiliation are you? That's what they see. And how any Black conservative, even though you're saying I'm not voting for the man, I'm voting for the party, can vote for a man who disrespects women so much. And I know that there have been Democrats, who have disrespected women, but how many have actually said and thought it was funny that you're just going to grab him by the pussy? Yes, I said it because that's what he said. How do you support that? How do you support a man who is still trying to execute and calling for the execution of the Central Park 5, even though they have been found 100% not guilty, but still calling for the execution of these 5 Black people? How do you support that? Now, Democrats, are they any better? I guess you have to go with that lesser of two evils thing. But Black conservatives, in my opinion, have consistently said that Democrats use Black people. Yeah, Democrats do. Democrats use Black folks all the time. Did Joe Biden use Black folks? Of course he did. Of course he did. He used us to get elected. But isn't that what conservatives want to do too? They want us to come on over here, come on over here, come on over to our side. We'll treat you better. Just vote for us. And that's how I'm going to tie in COVID. Now we have the Delta variant that is in every, except for maybe, I think I saw today on the news, Iowa, is surging in every state across the country. All of a sudden, mask mandates are coming back out. We were free of masks for what? It wasn't even a month. It's not here in California. It wasn't even a month. We gave up our mask on what, June 15th? Okay, a little over a month. Now LA County back in mask. The county that I live in. It's not a mandate yet, but they're saying we would like for everyone to wear masks. Every country, every state is now in the red zone because of COVID. So switching back to Black conservatives, yes, Black people, if anybody in this country has a right to say, I don't want to take a vaccine or get some type of medical treatment, whatever, it's us. We have the right because we have been used as guinea pigs and operated on, stuck with needles, whatever. Without our consent, being lied to what's in this stuff, used as guinea pigs for years. And I do mean years, going back to slavery. So if anybody has the right to say, we don't want to take the vaccine, it should be us. But the vaccine has been proven to save lives and to prevent people from getting COVID, or if they do get it, that they don't have, such a bad case of it where you're hooked up on a vent and you could possibly die. And you had all of these Republicans running around saying, oh no, you don't have to take it, you don't have to take it, even though they jumped the line back in January. You had your Cruzes and your Hawleys and your Rubios out there, your DeSantis's, what have you, et cetera, who jumped the line and got vaccinated. You had the former guy who did it, in secret in January. Now, conservatives are on the news. Mitch McConnell yesterday, he's on the news telling everybody, please get the vaccine, please get the vaccine. It'll save your life. They don't care about saving your life. They want your vote because dead people can't vote. They finally realized that all of these surges with the Delta variant is really hitting red states and really hitting, states where people, went heavily for the former guy. They're like, oh shit, our voters are dying. We got to tell them to get vaccinated. So to Black conservatives, I say to you, they don't care about you. They definitely don't care about you. They don't care about the white voters. They don't care about their lives. They care about their vote. They care about their vote. And what they realize is that in blue states, voters are vaccinated. Voters, in blue states, you have people who vote blue are for the most part still wearing their mask, even though the mask mandates, were lifted, whatever, they're still wearing their mask. So a conservative can say, what has the Democratic Party done for you as a Black person? Well, let me ask you, what has the Republican Party done for you as a Black person? What have they done for you? With the exception of Lincoln freeing the slaves, what has the Republican Party done for you? So let's think about that. Okay, I'm going to play a video, and I'm doing this a little different due to copyright issues, the way I have to show this. So hopefully, let me get this going.
Not only what it means to you, but what you think it symbolizes.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on, Will. So I just want to say,
I know it's going to be a little hard.
I once a Marine, always a Marine. And also, I'm actually not the first Black woman. I'm the first Black Republican woman, but I'm the first Republican to represent in a district that I did, which was 60% Black since 1865. So thank you for letting me clear that up. Now, I do want to say that we are all about school choice. We must have parental school choice. I just heard the segment on critical race theory. It's nonsense. And it says that it's a prima facie evidence. So on its face, as soon as we see a white person, well, they are racist, clearly. And so is everybody else in their family. It's going to be detrimental to our schools. And it's not what we want. It's supposedly to help someone who looks like me. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being used by the Democrats. And so are many people who look like me.
Winston, first of all, thank you for correcting me. I am very well aware that once a Marine, always a Marine. I don't know how former Marine came out of my mouth, so I appreciate you correcting me on that. But I don't know, popular culture, mainstream media would lead us to believe that if you are Black and a Republican, you are an aberration. You are somehow outside the norm. But everywhere I look, there are people like you, Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, who of course is a minority as well. Caitlyn Jenner, a transgender woman, is running as a Republican to replace Gavin Newsom as governor of that state. Why do we assume that if you are a minority, you must be a Democrat?
Well, because, it is evidential that there is some fact to that, but we are moving away from that because we're understanding what we call the okie doke is in play. I don't know if you all remember that Ice Cube had asked for a meeting with Biden, and he said, later, see me later after the election. And he asked for the same meeting with Donald Trump. Donald Trump said, bet, let's meet now. And so you see, we understand what's what. And we are not going to take it anymore. We are moving away. We're moving back, actually, to our roots. I just reminded our Republican Party that the very first Republican convention after the Civil War was held in Virginia in a Black church. In a Black church. Imagine that. And so we value everything that everybody else values. And in fact, it's not just Black people who are coming back to the Republican Party. It is Asians and Latinos. Right. And I'm an immigrant, so I understand that experience as well. We want freedom. We want liberty. We don't want anyone to tell us what to do either.
Really quickly, Winston, might have like 30 seconds left, but you say something interesting. You said you want to make the case to people who are conservative, but don't yet realize they are Republican. Tell me how you make that case.
Because you see, we want, again, school choice. We want to ensure that we're not trapped in schools that are pulling us down. We want to have the ability to move and put our children anywhere we want. We want safe neighborhoods. We do want our two-way gun rights as well. We want everything that everybody else wants, and we don't want to make anybody use us as our pawn. When I go to the polls, I don't want people to assume that I'm a Democrat. we want political power. I have none if no one comes to me and asks me for my vote.
The same thing everyone wants, respect as an individual. Winsome Sears, we wish you the best of luck in your...
Okay. All right, so again, I apologize for the way the video was presented, but due to copyright issues, the way I have to do this, to get around that, I have to do it like that. All right, so you know, I have a couple of problems with what she says about, you know, we want what everyone else wants. You know, I don't want people to automatically assume that, you know, you are a Democrat. But it's conservatives who assume that you're a Democrat because you're Black. I mean, unless you know, literally let people know I am a conservative, conservatives are the ones who assume that you're a Democrat because you are Black. I mean, I have, you know, people that I know who are conservative who assumed that I voted for Obama. In 2008, I was not rooting for Obama. I was Hillary Clinton, 100%. Obama in 2008 got my vote by default. I did not vote for Obama because he was Black. And there are people, and you have conservatives who assume that if you're Black, you automatically voted for President Obama. That's not true. You know, I mean, she brings up points, but they're weak points. She wants people to see us. The Democratic Party doesn't see us, and Republicans do. I want people to see my vote. I want people to respect my vote. Do you think a Republican is going to respect your vote? Or do they just want your vote? And I can say the same thing for Democrats. See, one of the problems to me, and we talked about this yesterday, one of the problems to me in this country is the fact that we have a two-party system. You know, back, you know, when the colonies were being formed, we had the Federalist Party, you know, and all these things, you know, transitioned into the Republican and the Democratic Party. And I guess that's one reason why our politics in this country is just so messed up, because we only have two parties. Maybe we should have had that third party that also came out and was strong. And instead of having, you know, choosing between two people, you have that third choice. Whereas in the UK, you know, and in France and some of these other places, you know, they have so many different strong political parties. But it's not like that here. So we're stuck. Now, I am a liberal with conservative views. I believe if you come into this country and you are not a citizen, then you should do it the right way. That after however much time it takes, you put your hand up before a judge and you take the oath and he says, congratulations, you're now a citizen of the United States. That's what I think. I do not believe that American taxpayers should have to pay to house people who come over here illegally, when there are so many other things that our tax dollars can be going for. We're coming off a pandemic. We have people who still can't pay their mortgage. People who are still not able to buy food. The homeless in this country, across the entire country, is ridiculous. Not because people are lazy and because they don't want to work, but a lot of people are homeless because they lost their jobs way back when. you know, and depending upon what state you live in, if you live in a high rent area, you're not going to be able to maintain your home or that apartment. And more across the country, rent is getting out of reach for people. So where do they live? They live on the streets. So no, I don't want to see my tax dollars going towards someone who is not a citizen of this country illegally. And I know I'm going to get a lot of smack for that, but that's what I think. Fix what's here first. I don't think that we should be shipping, you know, supplies and food off to other people in around the globe. No, I don't. Let another country help them. There are things here that need to be shipped around the country. We have children here, no matter what color they are, that are going to bed at night hungry. And for conservatives, Black conservatives, you may not agree with all these liberal social programs, but the majority of people who are on these liberal programs, like welfare, Meals on Wheels, they're conservative and they're white. I'm not making that up. That doctor that you go to see who thinks that, you know, your ailment is not that serious, or you don't need those pain pills, or you don't need to be admitted, or just go home and take an Advil and you'll be okay, and you have a serious, you know, ailment going on, they don't, when you walk through the door on the medical information that you're filling out, they're not asking what political party you're from. They see that you're Black. So you can say, I'm tired of being used by the Democratic Party. Okay. We're all tired of being used by somebody. Somebody's always using Black folks. Hell, the GOP is using Black folks to blame the insurrection on. Blame it on Black folks. Black Lives Matter. Yeah, Marco Rubio, who is saying, I will use my office to immigrate anyone out of any person who's a member of Black Lives Matter out of this country. They don't want you here. They don't like you. And I say the same thing to conservative Asians and conservative, you know, Latinos. They don't like you. They're using you for your vote. I mean, a man who can come down an escalator and say that Mexicans are nothing but a bunch of rapists and killers, they're bad hombres, and you still vote for this man? You still support him? And yet people will say, oh, I can't stand Hillary Clinton. Okay. Her emails. Oh, okay. Was she really that bad? Was she really? I don't understand how you support a person who blatantly, in your face, does not like you. And even if you say, I'm not voting for the person, I'm voting for the party, what they stand for, how can you support a party or an platform who is openly saying, screw you. We'll take your vote, but we don't give a damn about you. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I'm going to play another video.
Angry. Even this warm glass of milk at bedtime hasn't helped. It's almost like we're addicted to anger. At least that's what's going on, according to Jimmy Kimmel. Wait, wrong Jimmy Kimmel. This guy is a conflict researcher at Yale, but he's as close as I'm going to get to network TV, so let's go with it.
We now know from neuroscience studies that people can actually become addicted to a grievance revenge cycle.
Okay, so political outrage is literally addictive, like cocaine or the Peloton or Pornhub.
Yeah, when you experience what you perceive to be mistreatment or unfairness, this triggers the reward circuitry in the brain, which creates a craving in the mind for retaliation.
But Dr. Jimmy Kimmel, what is the problem with being angry at someone doing something shitty to you? And maybe you just go on Twitter and troll them endlessly forever.
Well, how does that make you feel when you do that?
Makes you feel good.
For how long, though?
For, I don't know, maybe like a minute.
So when you retaliate against somebody, you also experience the pain that you inflict. And, we're seeing that in our society that is being tempted further and further into, a civil war type of state.
America's favorite late night host just got very dark. According to Jimmy Kimmel, our former president helped supercharge America's rage climate, and many of his imitators are still at it. You create grievances for your followers, then retaliate for them, which enrages the other side, who also retaliate, restarting the cycle. It's like a perpetual motion machine powered by petulant bullshit. One of the people who's been running on this grievance hamster wheel for the last 4 years is resistance warrior Jeffrey Guterman.
I developed a lifestyle over these last 4 years of replying to Trump. I was often the very first to reply whenever he tweeted.
Right. So you're kind of like the first responder of internet trolling.
I was one of them.
Jeffrey will get his fix with a range of tweets, including this piece de resistance. Wow. Without you, we'd be living in a full-blown.
Okay. I played that because, one thing that, and again, I apologize, for the quality of the video, but one reason why I played that, because I know the audio was coming through, was just to show you that over the last 4 years, actually 5 years, we have had people who have a platform and are able to just spew out lies, racism, bigotry, and just have consistent dog whistles. But they're not just against another party. A lot of that had to do against a certain group of people. And even though conservatives go after Black Lives Matter as a group, they're coming after us as a people. They're coming after Black lives. Drop the matter part. For the GOP, they're coming after Black lives. Now, this is my opinion, but I think I'm right. So again, to those Black conservatives. What do you think about that? What do you think of all the violence and the hatred that is going on? Do you think that if you were in Charlottesville in 2017, when Heather Heyer was murdered by being run over by a car, do you think that if, you know, you're in a parking lot where you had two African-American men get beat up by white nationalists, beat up, bloodied, do you think that if you were in that same parking lot, that they would automatically know you were a conservative? Or do they first see that you're Black? I look at Candace Owens. And some of the things that she has said just against her own people. And even though you have the conservatives, especially on Fox News, going, yeah, because one thing conservatives want, one thing that the GOP, one thing that they want us to come after each other. They want us to kill each other. They don't care if we kill each other off, no matter how you do it. Be it with a gun, be it with a vaccine, whatever, they don't care. As long as we are gone. Either kill us or somehow put us in chains. And Black people have never in this country come out of chains. We haven't. But instead you have Candace Owens and people like her who will get on a platform, on a white platform, and stand there as if you're at a slave auction and she's selling you or throwing you up under the bus. That's what they're using Candace Owens to do. And she fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not sticking up for the Democratic Party. I'm not, because there are a lot of things wrong with the Democratic Party. You know, and I'll even go back to Obama. I think Obama could have done a better job of pushing for things for Black folks. And I'm not saying that just because he was Black, but I think Obama could have done better. And yes, I know that he had a Republican House and Senate that kept pushing back. And the Democrats now, they need to push a lot harder for HR 1, for this, you know, for this John Lewis Voting Rights Act. They need to push for it. They need to push harder for George Floyd. But for Republicans, for Black Republicans, you are being used hook, line, and sinker. You are being used by the Republican Party. And one thing that the Republican Party does not want to hear, and I'll say it again, they don't want you coming to one of their meetings talking about race and racism. They don't want you to hear that. We'll welcome Black people in, but can't talk about that. When that lieutenant governor from Virginia, from that first video that I showed, made the comment about Ice Cube, Ice Cube called Biden. Biden says, see me after the election. Okay. He called the former guy. The former guy said, come on to the White House. Yeah, I'll meet with you. Was it the former guy being open arms? Yes, I'm going to embrace Black people. Or was it like, well, here's another Kanye West, that if I could get him to start dissing Biden, then I'll have Black folks vote for me. Do you really think that the former guy was sincere when he asked Ice Cube to come to the White House? Do you think he was sincere about Kanye West? Kanye West was a joke. He was a joke. He was the lapdog. Kanye West was the, yes, I'm even going to say this, but Kanye West was the former guy's dog on a leash. We're going to use you and see how many Black votes we can get. So I ask, do they really care about you? I'm not voting for him. I'm voting for what they stand for. They stand for racism and bigotry, white nationalism, and white power. They don't care about you. So I have to pick the lesser of two evils for the time being. Yeah, I'm gonna choose Democrat. Am I happy with them? No. But I'm not gonna let somebody just totally, crap in my face and laugh in my face after they do it. Shy Lady, I see you are here.
Yes, I apologize for the lateness. Had another
That's
another
okay.
meeting.
Lives. People have lives. So
the subject is the Black Republicans.
Yep.
Again, like we were talking about the other day, a lot of these Black Republicans, they want to say the same thing. It's not about the man or the woman. It's about the party. No, it's not. It's not about. I think I said the reverse. It's not about. Well, and maybe they think it is about the party, but like you said, a lot of what the current Republicans that are in office now, it is about race for a lot of these Republicans. Why are you coming out with voting restriction laws? Why are you going backwards if it's not about race? Why are you trying to well, not trying to, you have, why have you canceled out Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech if it's not about race? Why? Dr. King was known to be nonviolent. How is he associated with a terrorist group like the Ku Klux Klan, who you have said the Republicans or the Senate in Texas stated that the Ku Klux Klan is not morally wrong. They were not unmoral. How is that not true? And then to compare them to saying, oh, we're going to get rid of I Have a Dream speech. We're also going to denounce everything that Cesar Chavez stood for, and even Susan B. Anthony, her fight for white women to vote. So that party, they're the ones who's coming up with these voting restrictive laws, and they're the ones who have an issue with the critical race theory. So it does appear that a lot of them are very against things that are for progress. And why would you not want to have people vote? Why would you not want to have Dr. King's speech as a source of education for people to know about? Why would you not want that? So it definitely makes you wonder, what is this party really about? You know,
Well, what
it
is,
seems lately everything.
no, go on.
Well, I was going to say, it seems lately in the last few years, everything associated with this party is bigotry. The Republican Party.
Mhm. You know,
Like I said, especially in the last few years.
I think that the GOP is trying to become a one party rule. I think they're trying to do their best to just get rid of the Democratic Party. Because if you get rid of the Democratic Party, if any other party tries to pop up, then it'll be very hard for them to survive. I think the GOP is trying to become a one party rule. I think that's one reason why they are embracing white nationalism. I think they always have, but they're just blatantly doing it now. And again, I look at the Candace Owens out there, and even Michael Steele. I remember when he was, even though he's on MSNBC, and he's been like against the Republican Party, he still considers himself a Republican. But even when he was the chairman of the Democratic, of the Republican Party, as a black man, it was like some of the stuff that he was saying, like, really, and I just look at some of these ex-Republicans, like your Nicole Wallace's, that's also on MSNBC now, who is, used to work for George Bush. And she says, just the way the Republican Party has just, transformed, she's now an independent, but she still kind of leans Republican. And it's like, how do you associate with people who just don't give a crap about other people? And today's Republicans, and this is one of the biggest problems I have with Joe Biden, stop trying to kumbaya with these people. This is not the Senate or the Republican Party that you knew 20 years ago. It isn't. And I think, again, I just come back to, I think that the Republican Party is trying to be a one party rule. If they are able to do that, say over the next 10 or 20 years, America's done. Done. We are through. I mean, it just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
It's getting worse every time you cut on a political channel or network that have politics. It's always this us versus them, and it's such a climate of divisiveness. It's just crazy. It's really crazy.
It is. And I want to share something with you. I'm going to hold on. Let me share my desktop here. Hold on for 1 second here. Okay. Are you seeing this? Russell Walker, a Republican state house candidate in North Carolina. He said God is a racist and white supremacist, that Jews all descend from Satan, and that Martin Luther King was an agent of Satan. He won the Republican primary with 65% of the vote. America, we have a serious problem that a wall won't fix. 65% of the vote talking this crap. What is wrong with this picture? This is what Black Republicans support? mean, seriously?
That's unbelievable. That's crazy.
It is. It is. And but then again, you look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. The only reason, well, one of the reasons she won was because she ran unopposed. No one was running against her. But I question if somebody was, would they still have chosen her? I mean, this man is saying all this crap and he wins 65% of the vote, not 51%, not 52%, but 65% of the vote, which to me is significant.
This is very significant, and it's scary that a lot of people think like him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what the former guy unleashed was hatred and bias and racism, and I'm just not understanding how, you don't want to be for Democrats. Oh, okay, but you're going to tell me that you're actually going to vote for the Republican Party? And like you said, Martin Luther King was nonviolent. He wanted everyone to kumbaya. He wanted everyone to love each other. And
insanity.
It is insanity. And I just can't get over and here's another one. I'll share this one. When Mitch McConnell didn't have the 60 votes needed to confirm Trump's judicial nominees, he carved out an exception to the filibuster and made it happen anyway. Please tell me one good reason why Dems shouldn't do the same for voting rights. Why are we not doing this? Why are we not doing this? Not only for voting rights, but we should be doing this. We should play the Mitch McConnell playbook on everything, on every piece of law, whatever that goes through. We need to play the Mitch McConnell playbook and get through voting rights. 3 people adding 3 more justices to the Supreme Court. DC as a state. Puerto Rico, I'm not so sure. Because they're kind of like the Cubans in Florida. I don't know if we want to include Puerto Rico right now. I'm on the fence with them. But DC as a state, there are so many things that we need to do the Mitch McConnell playbook on, and we have the opportunity to do it right now. So that's the problem I have with the Democrats. That's my problem with them. But for Black Republicans, I don't understand. I just don't get it. I mean, I truly just don't get it. I mean, I know someone who lives in South Carolina, Black. Last year, he sent 2 of his children off to college. They were both homeschooled. His daughter is older. She's 18. The son is 16. And he went through an accelerated homeschool. So he graduated at the age of 16. Sent both of his children to Liberty University. Now, you're not familiar with Liberty University. That's where Jimmy Falwell or whatever, that's their school, who also has a reputation of treating Black people like crap. But, he's a diehard Republican. He doesn't see anything wrong with the former guy. So I said, Liberty University is still open with COVID? It's like, yeah, they're not closing down. Okay. So are you all getting vaccinated if the vaccine comes out? And this is before the vaccine. No. We don't wear a mask. We wouldn't get vaccinated if it did come out. My kids are starting school in September. His kids started school in September. So I asked him, I said, so your kids, you know, they're not in a co-ed dorm or anything, so they're not rooming together or anything. He's like, oh no, you know, my daughter's going to room in the, you know, girls dorm. My son's going to be in the boys dorm, whatever. I'm like, okay. I said, so let's say I'm your daughter's roommate and I'm concerned about COVID. And everywhere I go, I'm wearing a mask. But when I get back to my dorm room, I want to be able to take off my mask and not have to worry about my roommate. Is your daughter going to be wearing a mask? Is she going to be concerned with the roommate? You know what he said? If God wanted you to get COVID, you would get COVID. If God didn't want you to get COVID, he wouldn't let you get COVID. My daughter and my son are not wearing masks. What is wrong with these people? A Black Republican. Now, I have not spoken to him since, do believe it's been December. So it's been a while. But our conversations, whenever they went to politics, it was like, I just had to shake my head and say, I just can't talk to you anymore, because not on politics, because the stuff that you believe in, I don't get it. He had no problem with Trump grabbing people by the pussy. He had no problem with that. But yet he went to Bill Clinton. He went to Bill Clinton and started talking about Monica Lewinsky. And this is a man who is a deacon at his church and will constantly quote Bible verses to me. I'm like, you're going to quote Bible verses to me, but yet you have no problem with somebody grabbing women by their pussy, but you're going to talk about Bill Clinton having an affair with Monica Lewinsky?
Wasn't correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know a lot about his personal life, but the former guy, wasn't he supposedly cheating on the second wife?
He cheated
and wound up with the third one?
He cheated. The former guy has cheated on all three of them. And yes, okay, he cheated on Marla Maples with Melania. Mm-hmm. But even before,
that's what I remember hearing.
Before he was with his wife now, he cheated several times on Marla Maples. And then with the first wife, he was cheating, but then he was cheating again with Marla Maples, ended up marrying her. I mean, don't talk to me about Bill Clinton or any other person. Don't get upset with me that Hillary Clinton did not leave Bill Clinton. When you have the former guy, the person that you're rooting for, who does not like immigrants, and two of his wives are immigrants,
right? But they're white, so they get a pass,
right?
They're not considered immigrants in his eyes,
right? And again, what goes on in your family, if Hillary chose to stay with Bill, that's between the two of them in their household, however they run their marriage, none of my business. If you want to cheat on your wife and marry the second one, the third one, whatever, not my business. But don't call out someone else when your house is made of glass and you cannot throw stones. So but these are the people, don't sit here and tell me that you don't have a problem with this, but then you're gonna bring up somebody else. It's like, now what's the problem with this? Come on. And then you got to go back 25 years. You got to go back 25 years to her husband. who was, I mean, Bill Clinton's not running for president. Hillary was. So again, I just look at Black conservatives and I'm like, yeah, the Democratic Party, yeah, they are fucked up. But the Republican Party, I had somebody ask me about a month ago, what would it take for you to become a Republican? And I said, I would never become a Republican. But you have some conservative views. Yes, I do. But I would never become a Republican, ever. Especially now. So when Republicans say they're tired of, when Black Republicans say they're tired of being used by Democrats, they have just been so, I mean, just
led astray.
led astray, cacoodled, or what, how do you ever say cacoodled, whatever. I mean, it's like they have just, you know, they have just bought into this crap, hook, line, and sinker. And I just think that it's, you know, I think that it's a shame, you know, and, you know, even when Al Franken, I was talking to someone about Al Franken yesterday, and we both agreed that Al Franken never, yes, he was doing some stuff and said some sexually harassing stuff. Yes, he did, but he never should have resigned from the Senate. He never should. First thing the Democrats want to do is say, we'll show an example with our own people. We want him to resign. He should have said, no, I'm not resigning. Al Franken was a good senator. You know, we needed him. I mean, you're having him resign when you're already seats, you know, in the Senate that you need. Is already controlled by the House, you know, the Republicans already control the House, you know, and the Senate, and you want one.
Yeah, that wasn't a good move.
Right. It was a bad move. You see those Republicans out there saying Matt Gaetz resign, they're not saying crap. One thing that Republicans do, and they do it very well, they keep their crap, their family crap, inside the House. When they walk out in public, they are a unit. Democrats, they don't do that. And that's one reason why I have a problem with AOC. Now is not the time to diss other Democrats. Now is not the time to say that you don't like something that Biden is or is not doing. Now is not the time to do that. Talk about it behind closed doors. I mean, Matt Gaetz, you know, is a potential pedophile. Not once have I heard any Republicans speak bad about him, but yet you have in 2015, whatever, you had Democratic women telling Al Franken he needs to go. That was a bad move, and Al Franken should have not have done it. He should have said, nope, I'm not resigning. Because he was a good senator. What he did, it was messed up. But how many other Democrats and senators are doing stuff that's messed up that we don't know about? So I asked Black Republicans, what do you think about Matt Gaetz and the charges on him? That when he's being, you know, that women are coming out of, you know, his ex-girlfriend, all these people are saying, yes, he was with underage girls. What do you think about that? Oh, it's not the man, it's the party. This is what he stands for. This is what the party stands for, supporting pedophiles. Okay. And you want to talk about not being used by the Democratic Party. I don't get it. I don't get it. Shy Lady, I'm going to let you have the last word, and I promise I'm going to let you have the last word.
Okay. Again, we as a people, especially Black people, with this current climate going on, this Democratic versus Republican, us versus them, voting rights restrictions, we really need to exercise our votes, our voting capabilities, and we need to get the word out there because if we continue to allow the Republicans to change important acts that were created to make America better, we're going to go back in time, and it's not going to be good. So we really need to step up our voting, exercise our voting rights, and talk more about it. Get out there in the community because things are not getting better. Things are getting worse, and we have the Supreme Court endorsing some of these new bills. It's just not good. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to those times. It's not going to be good. So again, we need to continue to talk. And Solid Blue Sister, you need to continue to have this platform so that we hope people will hear and make take action.
Now you're making me have to have the last word, because now I'm just, I just got to get my platform out to more people. So if you can figure out
Yes.
me to do that, whatever. Yeah, you are right. You are all right. And for Miss Pandora, as always, thank you very much. But that's it. That's my time. I'm Solid Blue Sister.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great show, ladies.
Thank you.
Yes, always.
Always.
And I will see you next.
Love yous.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.